This is a video that is going to be about methods in Java. So go right ahead and start a new project, Java application. We're naming this one YouTube because this video will end up on YouTube. Get rid of the comments because they get in the way. You can choose to keep them because all they are is comments and sometimes they're helpful, but in this case they're just in our way. So a method is a block of code that is meant to serve a specific logical function. If you're looking at your method and it looks like a toolbox and it's just doing too much, then maybe think about chopping it up into other functions, into other methods. Your main method is usually supposed to just be, it displays your calling of all the other methods. You see all of your methods being called in a specific order that would serve the way your program is supposed to work. So you shouldn't be really doing much computing in your main method. So we're not going to be talking about every property of a method in this video. We're just going to be talking about a few, which are the return value and the parameter of a method. Void means that there is no return value to this method. It will bring back no value. It is an empty method. Well, it's not an empty method. It just brings no value. Void signifies that it's empty. So let's call it A. There is no parameter either. So what does this method do? We're just going to make it system out print A. And here's what's going to happen. Right here, we're going to call it. And how do you do that? You just write its name, sorry about that, followed by a semicolon. So run the file, see what happens. You get A. Get rid of that. Let's try a difference method. So that's method A. Let's do public static a return value. Let's give it a return value. Call this one B. So this one has a return value, meaning it's going to be, let's say, get equals 5 or string, so that we can see it displayed, yeah? However, that also means that now you have to change this string. So keep in mind that if your return value is going to be string, that you should return a string. You can't type in an integer here and then write. It's not going to compute well. It's not going to work. So here, let's call it and see what happens. Nothing happened. It's still working, but nothing happened. And the reason for that is we have no way of knowing. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it right inside a system out print. That way, we see it called. We didn't write B in the system out print. We called method B, which in turn returned the value B inside the system out print. The same way we do this. The same way, let's type in the same way we might do something, okay, sorry about that. The same way we might do something like this, where we only type the variable name and then get a result. Let's get rid of these and continue. Now this one is going to have a perimeter. And the perimeter here is going to be string, a string called C. We're not getting any errors, we're not getting anything because there is no return value, so you don't need to type this. This, and this are two different things. This is your input, and this is going to be your output for the method. So we're typing in a system out print, so whatever gets sent into this method, gets printed. Let's try it here. Let's try it here. C, it's a string, so we should type in a string. So this C will be sent into here and then printed through this system outprint. Now let's see it happen. A, B, C. Great. Now let's try the last method we'll be talking about, which is a method with both a parameter and a string. A parameter and a return value. We're using an integer for this because it's easier to see two numbers being shifted rather than a string. We'll be easily seeing the difference on both numbers. So let's say integer z equals a multiplied by 3. Now we need a return value. So the return value is going to be z. This z is this. It's going to be returned. So let's say this is not going to be an integer. Let's say this is going to be a double, and change this into a division. It's wrong. It's giving you an error because you can't return a double when you said that you're returning an int. So change this into a double. There you go. No more error. So let's call this, D. An error, again, because this is a method that needs a parameter and we haven't set a parameter to it. So let's send a parameter. Let's send the number 3. A, B. Sorry about that. We forgot that we need to print it. There we go. A double, so it's 1.1 because we sent a 3 divided by 3. So let's run over this again. A, system out prints A. It's very simple. No return value, no method. Here's a return value. We created the string B and then returned it and then plugged it into a system out print. It returned the value of B, which is the string letter B. And then we called variable method C. What happened is this method. No return value, but whatever you send into it gets printed. And that's how we got C. And now D, which we plugged into a system out print in order to see its progression, is you send in a letter through the parameter, it gets plugged into here, and then you create a variable, and that variable, whatever it is, whatever you return it to be, gets run through this, the output. And what we get is this final A, B, C, and 1.0. And that's it. That's it for methods.